Google is really going in this year on their latest devices, releasing not one, not two, but 4 whole new smartphones basically all at once, and each with the promise of an updated design, better photo and video coming from the cameras, and the advent of AI being more a part of the experience than ever before. There's a lot to cover, but you know what? I'm going to be doing videos on each of these phones eventually, so why don't I just talk about the main things that I enjoyed from my first look at the new Pixel catalog? Yeah, let's do that, because it's Joshua Vergara. What's going on, everybody? Here come the Pixel 9, the Pixel 9 Pro, the Pixel 9 Pro XL, and the Pixel 9 Pro Fold. Yeah, you heard Pixel 9 a grand total of 4 different times there, and you literally get all manner of Pixel 9 this year, which means plenty of choice, mainly in terms of what size and format you might want to experience this year's Google smartphones in. Okay, now quick disclaimers, Google did bring me out to New York City to check out all of the new products ahead of the Made by Google event happening right now in Mountain View, where I happen to be. The other disclaimer is that there are a bunch of other products being announced, including the Pixel Watch 3 and the Pixel Buds Pro 2, and new smart home items that replace the current Nest thermostat and actually completely replace the Chromecast. I will eventually bring you coverage of all of these other things soon, so make sure you follow me here on YouTube and across social media to know when those videos come out. Alright, back to the Pixels. I'm just going to run through the main things that I really enjoyed during my first look, and that has to start with the design of each phone. I'm going to go one by one with the phone, so we'll start with the base model Pixel 9. Base model is definitely the way to describe it, since the Pixel 9 comes with the least amount of bells and whistles, like the lack of a telephoto lens in the camera system. It also is the smaller of the bunch, with the 6.3-inch Actua display that still sports a high refresh rate and now gets a peak brightness of 2700 nits. As with basically all of the phones, the sides are flatter than before, making for a more comfortable grip in my opinion. And for the slab phones, we're going from the straight bar on the back to something that I'm going to call the Cyclops visor. That camera package sports a new 48-megapixel ultra-wide lens to accompany the 50-megapixel main, which is good to see for essential shooting on the daily. And there's plenty to look forward to in the cameras, which we'll talk about more in a bit. As per usual, the base model Pixel 9 comes in the fun colors, including a wintergreen that I really want, and then the bright pink peony. Now, I know I said that the Pixel 9 is the smaller of the bunch, but going Pro doesn't mean you have to have a massive increase in the footprint. So while the Pixel 9 Pro does still sport a 6.3-inch display, it adds LTPO capabilities to what is now called the Super Actua panel that increases the resolution, brightens things up to a peak 3000 nit level, and extends the refresh rate all the way down to 1 Hz to the max of 120. The Tensor G4 that powers each and every phone this year gets a bit more support in the Pro as well, by upping the RAM to 16GB from 12. And of course, going Pro means more options in the camera with the telephoto lens for proper zooming, whether optically or with some software support when going far out to levels like 30x. It's still the 50-megapixel main, then the ultra-wide and telephoto are both 48 megapixels. However, the front-facing camera also gets a boost up to 42 megapixels with autofocus, further adding to the Pixel as a prime option for taking some of the best selfies given Google's software enhancements and the growing AI editing capabilities. But then we get a bit of a throwback with this year's phones, in the form of 2 letters that we haven't heard in a while, and no, I'm not talking AI, I'm talking XL. That's right, the Pixel 9 Pro XL takes the same specs and features of the Pro model and makes it better with a 6.7-inch Super Actua display. Aside from the extended screen real estate and the resulting larger battery capacity, there's not too much else that's different with the XL. That 5000-ish mAh battery might sound like it'll add way more to the phone's longevity, but bear in mind that the larger display might even things out. But still, I have to say that it's nice to see XL provide a middle path between the Pro devices and an even bigger version of the Pixel 9, because we're still not done. Having different sizes for the Pro model is great, but some might want even more. Well, how about a phone that turns into a tablet? Google brings back the Fold, but now puts it in the lineup with the Pixel 9 with the Pixel 9 Pro Fold. It's kind of a mix of all the other phones when you think about it, and the form factor could open up more possibilities for the power users out there. I say it's a mix of the other phones because the external screen is much like on the base model, a 6.3-inch Actua display, but then the internal display blows up to an 8-inch size, and that is a Super Actua display. When I was first using the Pixel 9 Pro Fold during my content capture, I was thinking back to the days of when we had the Nexus tablet, starting off with the Nexus 7. It's crazy to think that about a decade later, we now have a pocketable, foldable 8-inch tablet. Man, I've been doing this for a long time, haven't I? Anyway, the foldable form factor provides the versatility we have come to expect. Multitasking takes advantage of the tablet-like real estate, flexing the display opens up different interface styles, and opening up the phone with the camera on makes the outer display a viewfinder with the rear cameras, making it a great way of getting selfies or even getting some vlogging done. One of the cool features that got demoed is the ability to make auto-filled Google search terms secondary windows by just holding and dragging it to one side of the screen. Easy way of just like opening up a whole new window without losing your original search. Credit goes to Google for finding new and very Google ways of taking advantage of these form factors. Now, the only place in the spec list that veers away from the pro expectations a bit is in the camera. It's a typical story with plenty of foldables, but concessions are made potentially because of the form factor. The numbers are simply lower. 48 megapixels in the main camera, 10.5 megapixel in the ultra-wide, 10.8 megapixel telephoto, and then finally 10 megapixel cameras on the front and inside displays. It's entirely possible that these cameras are still more than enough for a lot of typical users, but I do wish we could get the more powerful hardware on the foldable because that screen adds to the editing and overall creation experience. So after we finally ran down all of the hardware Google is bringing out this year, that brings me to the features I look forward to trying out more. Despite the different specs for the cameras throughout the lineup, there are a lot of possibilities, some of which are possible via AI. Now, I know you're already hearing those letters a lot this year, and it does continue here, but in a way, Pixels and Google at large have been integrating AI effectively in their products, so it just simply continues here. Magic Editor is still one of the main ways of accessing AI in these situations, allowing for cutouts, removal and relocation of items, and now total regeneration of certain aspects of the photo. My example here is pretty simple in making a blue sky out of a gloomy scenario, but it can certainly go further than what you see here. Of course, you can just try foregoing shooting altogether. Generating photos is also possible on here with the Pixel Studio, where prompts can be used to create art and pictures of all kinds. Video capture is still helped along by Google's brand of stabilization, all of which is easily accessible in the camera interface alongside controls for things like exposure and color. And also returning is the Video Boost, which sends videos to the Google Photos cloud to be processed for better end results like better colors and brightened low-light capture. But by far, my favorite feature in the camera has to be AdMe, which addresses a super common pain point in photography. How do you get yourself in the photo? Well, multiple Google-powered features help out here, from AI to AR. Simply take one photo of the group without you, leaving a space for you to jump in later. Then you hand the camera off to someone else and you have them line you up with the blank spot, which is easy to do with the phone using straight-up AR to guide the camera position and, well, your position in the photo. Both of the photos that are taken are saved on their own and then put together using AI to create what is hopefully a viable group shot without the need of asking someone else to take the shot or to take out a tripod. You see, this is what I want to see more and more when it comes to AI, and actually AR for that matter. It's all a practical use case that properly injects itself into an everyday scenario, making it something that not only makes sense, but is something we would actually use more often. Now, whether the rest of the AI features fall under that category will depend on your daily use. That said, it seems the Tensor G4 is up to the task as a more efficient processor overall. As a matter of fact, during our entire session when using these phones for our demos and hands-ons, I did notice, or we all did notice, that the phones did not get significantly warm or anywhere near hot. But anyway, the Tensor G4 provides things like Google Gemini features like summarization, classic assistant functions, and further generative features. What these Pixels hope to continue, though, is giving the AI more access to more parts of the phone so that personal searches and information become more easily accessible. Case in point, the new Screenshots app. This is a cool idea, as screenshots are one of the easiest ways of capturing information from the internet or from other people via emails or messages, but small bits of information can get lost when you have a pile of screenshots just taking up a Google Photos folder. The Screenshots app parses the text and general information in each screenshot and makes it all taggable and searchable, so if you do have something that you need to recall, it's easier now to literally recall it. It is a similar level of data access that Google already uses to parse your emails and your calendar so that you can get your upcoming dates and whatnot, but now there's an on-device version of it via the Screenshots app that might make a little more sense to people who wear out their power and volume down buttons a lot. All of these features add to an already robust suite of capabilities that Pixels have been known for and have become quite desired for, like call screening and hold for me. As Google continues to find ways of applying new tech to their products in pretty practical ways, I think each new Pixel has at least some compelling reason to be considered. Not to mention the promise of continued support with 7 years of OS and Pixel drop updates. All of these features in the cameras and the software come together to make a Pixel lineup that also provides a lot of tangible choices given the designs. So you can let me know which Pixel 9 you might be going for in the comments downstairs. Head over to my social media for a look at the new Pixel Watch 3 as well. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and call it on this one and get started on the slew of Pixels that were just announced, pretty much one by one. But in any case, thank you so much for kicking it with me again today. Please take care of yourselves and each other and enjoy your tea, everybody.